maybe that was a fluke. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great game. He really deserves a lot of credit, too. He was right up there as one of the best players in the game, definitely. 7-1-7 on the Caitlyn. Crushed even with a lot of focus on the bot lane champion pool going up against that Varus.
Fiora Syndra. So they actually don't want to see that from Pobelter again. Flame has been drawing constants on that Fiora now that they've seen him the past few games on it.
I think it makes a lot of sense. It seems like Flame is such an aggressive player. He wants to make the plays happen by himself. And while tanks can make plays happen, they need to be with their team, you know? And when you're on something like Fiora, he can split push, he can go aggressive, he can create for himself. And he can't do that on a tank.
It's very kind of Cooney-esque play style. I mean, a Flame-esque, it's his play style, but, you know, kind of the same thing that they got out of the top lane. A lot of aggression, always going in, and a team is behind him as well, once again, for that top lane Immortals. Malzahar getting banned out, the last one, LB LeBlanc on Immortals side for ban phase 1. 3 for each side, and we head into the picks.
So, a lot of options here. We have seen a lot of variation. We've seen Ashe first pick, we've seen Maokai first pick, we've seen Ryze, Syndra. There's definitely a number of options here. It's going to be TSM once again. Hauntzer locked in the Maokai in the top lane.
Easy. I like it. Nice job. Flame showing the Tryndamere hover love. Do it. We'll see some Kled this week. I love it. Oh, I guess we already saw some, but
yeah, I've seen some Kled here and there. It actually can work very well. And you know, if you talk about a champion who can go aggressive and can dive, that's definitely one of them, man. You roll in with that all. Woo! Love it.
So the Varus gets picked up, even with that Caitlyn game. He says, yeah, it's still down the tier list, but if I can get my #1 so far, I will get my #1. Now, talk with Hermes here with Flame, actually discussing the pick possibly. And then Dardoch, he's taking his.
Yeah, this is the first game that Flame won't have Maokai, so it'll be interesting to see how successful Hauntzer will be on this. I mean, Flame has not had the best Maokai games. We have seen a lot of success on the champion in the league, though, and you know, Flame, is he comfortable to allow top lane to go through the first round of picks and bans? Because he's going to be pushed way down on the tier list if that does happen. You know, how big is his champion pool? What else can he bring out?
Dardoch, like the Kha'Zix once again, was favoring that Olleh he was pushed down to in game 1. So it's actually a hit that now Flame, or Cody Sun and Dardoch get their junglers for this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Or jungler and bot, I should say.
I mean, Svenskeren could grab the lead again if he wants, right?
For sure.
Okay, I like this. You know, the Ashe is being locked in, so both AD carries have secured a very strong, supportive AD carry. We'll be able to go with that, and this is where we may see some divergence, right? Does TSM lock in the jungle? That would be kind of the safe standard option here, is to just pick something like the Lee Sin, but they're going to elect to go mid lane, and that means that Immortals, they'll have their turn at pinching the jungle champion pool of Svenskeren.
May see that Lee Sin ban first. Oh, Pobelter quick lock on Orianna. Like that pickup. We saw some awesome Orianna play yesterday as well.
So that's really the big difference here, Riv. So we have a top laner for TSM, a jungler for Immortals, and now they will likely attempt to try to target that champion pool for their opponents. You know, we'll see if Immortals, do they feel they can ban out Svenskeren enough to really kind of knock him down the tier list, or will they go for another option? You know, definitely the traditional one would be to take away something like the Lee Sin, take away other options, but the MF suggests that they may actually be more concerned about the bot lane, and they, to me, this signals that they want to pick Zyra first in the next round of drafts, which is what TSM reads from that as well. So it's a nice little back and forth there.
It didn't seem to take Barth much time, or the team, to figure that one out as well.
You ban a counter, it kind of screams you want to pick.
Final one here, phase 2. 2 bans in phase 2 for each team, and now it is Immortals with 12 seconds left out of the 30.
Okay.
Karma's going to be that. How far do you go?
So
is it the Morgana?
This is another adaptation, right? They're saying, yeah, we could double ban Sven because he hasn't picked his jungler yet, but he's still going to do well. So we're basically seeing Immortals say, you know what, Svenskeren can play too many champions too well. It's going to be a waste of bans. Let's target Biofrost. Let's put Biofrost on something he's less comfortable on, because we already have Malzahar and Zyra taken away by TSM. Now we have 2 more here taken away. Immortals will have the first support pick if they want it right now, and they could hopefully for them, you know, get that advantage. It's gonna be Poppy though. Okay,
Poppy for Flame.
Poppy to me, now this, the only reason this really makes a lot of sense to me is if they are going to do something with their support pick that is dependent upon what the support pick is for Biofrost, right? Because the top lane has already been selected by TSM. All the bans are done. It's not like someone's going to take Poppy away from you. So by selecting that, they're saying, you know what, we want to see what you're going to pick first, then we're going to pick the support that is going to smash that, or we're going to pick the support that's going to round out our composition against yours perfectly. So, you know, it's interesting back and forth there, and there's always a lot to weigh in these decisions.
The counter support meta.
Exactly, man. And it could simply be, hey, Morgana's on the table. He may want to see,
right?
You know, I want to play Morgana again, but let me see what he's going to pick first. And then if it works, I'm going to smash him.
I like it. So much you can do with this new ban phase. The games played here by Immortals may work in their favor. Maybe Biofrost has something up his sleeve to go through as well.
Okay.
So wait, yeah, that would...
So this likely will be a Morgana.
That would be the Morglock.
Yeah, there it is. So this is really cool.
Oh.
This is Olleh saying, you know what? I think you will play Thresh, or I think you will play something I can beat with this Morgana. So he kind of lets him do that pick first, and then selects that. And these are really cool adaptations. You know, most teams here, I think, would have done the double ban on jungle. And, you know, yes, you take Svenskeren off the Lee Sin, but maybe he plays Rek'Sai or Olaf or Graves. Yeah. Doesn't really matter. And they're saying, you know what? We won through bot lane last time.
And we won. They had Lee Sin.
Exactly. So let's see what he can do against Thresh, which should be a much better matchup. Last time, Immortals had the worst bot lane matchup. They still won. Can they do it again here with now what should be an advantageous bot lane matchup?
Very, very true. Maybe Biofrost can work a little bit more in the minions this time, keep himself from getting bound up in the early portion of the game, which really started to cost them. We're talking a lot about what just happened in the bot, but both teams, again, get compositions that they can look great with here coming into the game. The fact the pinch and ban here for these ban phases is actually giving us some compositions that we'd figure the teams kind of wanted to come in with. They haven't had to go anywhere crazy for mid, top, or any other high priority positions, and it's just really giving us some flavorful games.
I mean, this game could go either way, definitely from champ select, but I do actually favor Immortals draft. I think that Kha'Zix versus Lee Sin, you know, very even there. I think that Orianna has a nice mid lane matchup against the Cassiopeia. I think they have a good bot lane advantage, and yes, Maokai should be stronger than Poppy, but Poppy is a playmaker, and as we saw with Hauntzer on the Poppy, it's not like it's such a massive difference.
All right, TSM and Immortal fans are ready for this final best of three. We're about to be onto the Rift. TSM versus Immortals, 50 minutes a game so far for both game 1 and 2. See if we have another 50-minute game on our hands. We'll go for a 3-hour matchup. Why not? We're in our third game. Out to the lanes head the players. Now we're going to see the bot lane nicely color-coded from Turtle and Biofrost here as they head off to meet up with Cody Sun and Olleh. Bjergsen back on that Cassiopeia, somehow 10-1 and 11, I believe it was. Very close to that scoreline. Sorry if it's incorrect. Carrying the first game out. See if you can do it again.
Definitely very excited to see how that is going to be. Bjergsen, an incredible Cassiopeia player. That Maokai skin, man. I was like, what is that? What is in my ear right now?
I wondered for a second as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how Biofrost is able to deal with the Black Shield. So there is a lot you can do as far as kind of misleading your opponent, right? You flash and you face your champion one way, you hook another way. Things like that can bait out. When you see the animation and the Thresh is flashed right on you, you Black Shield yourself, he hooks the side, hits your AD carry. So there's the kind of things that you can do like that, or you can try to flash onto the Morgana and flay him so he CC'd when you do the hook. Things like, there are tricks you can do. So it's not like you could never land a hook ever, but it's certainly something that is a pretty choreographed CC, and Morgana excels at dealing with those.
Maybe some brush control will be their favor there in the bot lane. You will have to come out periodically for some relics, or Targons, I should say. First CS to Bjergsen, off to a great start.
1-0. Can't come back from that, Riv.
So there's that first flay. Definitely wants to get in for the damage. Put a little bit of that extra passive attack on. You may see Biofrost walking up for each one of those to make sure Olleh has to think about something and not have such free roam to throw those bindings. He controlled the game so much in that bottom lane last time. Binding after binding.
He definitely did. And, you know, they have had a game to play against it now, so we'll see how they can deal with it.
There it is. Another play auto. Not even 2 yet. Good trade so far. TSM still on that fan vote, not stopping Immortals from pushing through strong in these games, though. As we see this usually happen, Hauntzer would be pushing, or I'm sorry, Flame would be pushing Hauntzer in, but now the other way around a little bit as they both take damage.
Yeah, and Hauntzer should have a bit of a lane advantage, but it just, oh, what a nice binding. It shouldn't be enough that it's like out of control or anything, right? And we saw the playmaking from Hauntzer on Poppy with that ultimate. It can really change games. You know, that's what killed Flame in the mid lane, him being able to eject those two backliners. So you can definitely win fights purely off of that. It's another one.
He did. It's just too disgusting to see. The spectators have to turn away.
Avert your eyes.
You'll get locked up too.
Have your children leave the room. It's going to be ugly.
Almost. They are in division quite a bit, but they want to give Dardoch help no matter what here. So
this could be pretty explosive as it's 3 people here. Dardoch does get
going over. Svenskeren over the wall. Dardoch gets a jump. And flashes away too from the hit. Oh, the blast cone over. Is there a follow? There is not. And trickery coming in from IMT. Got a little messy there for a second, but they get out alive.
And Sven did get that steal, so he is actually quite a lot ahead of Dardoch. Look at how much time Dardoch spent going around to do this. He's not able to do that, and meanwhile, Svenskeren had cleared up his little camp, so he's quite a bit up in CS, and he's actually going to head up to the top side, see if he can do a wraparound onto Pobelter. It's the tried and true. You can do a ward hop over this after you clear if you do decide to go for that, but Bjergsen is backing off for now. We'll see if they look for it.
Pobelter's ward is about 4 seconds too late. He'll see the exit on Svenskeren.
Only if he
exits.
It walks that way, yeah. So he can come right behind Adam, and it gave him that false sense of security.
Flashes there, holding. He'll fire it off at the last second.
Can't take that.
You can't take that? I'm sorry?
Ooh, you can take that. Might be a little biased, but you can always take the leasing.
So that's already hurting Pobelter. I mean, Bjergsen was kind of by himself there against Pobelter. Lead in CS. Now he gets pushed out of lane.
Yeah, and
still
this
a good amount
supposed to be a good matchup for the Orianna. So this is definitely tough for Pobelter. You know, getting focused time and time again, and just that little timing on the ward made him feel safe to move up because he's saying, okay. But Svenskeren had already crossed. And now Dardoch makes his entrance in the top lane. Hauntzer has no mana, but it's okay.
It was a kind of a push hit kick.
That was actually so close to getting the stun on the wall there.
Yeah.
Just inches away. And had he landed that stun, that might have been first blood.
Looks like Flame gonna back himself, as Hauntzer just did. They're just getting themselves built up. Double rings for Hauntzer to stay tanky. Knows there'll be more ganks coming in from Dardoch from what's happened in these past games at least.
Yeah, and this is kind of the early game trifecta on that Maokai. With double Doran's Ring plus that Corrupting Potion, you have so much mana to always push out the waves, constantly shove that in and look to do things like this, like roam around and maybe get vision or roam around and look to get something done. He needs to go right in on Dardoch. Dardoch is in trouble. Gotta get out. And now, once again, this gives the advantage to Svenskeren. Svenskeren walks into the jungle. Guess what? They can set up a 3-man dive. They're going to have to zone Pobelter off this, or Pobelter is going to die. Here it is.
Oh, he just threw out the ball, too. Only has the callback for Protect. Can't even stop them from getting in. And their plan so far ahead. That walk started 15 seconds ago.
Exactly. And honestly, Immortals should have read that one. I think that one was pretty obviously coming. As soon as your jungler gets pushed out by the top laner, your mid laner has no flash. That was an easy play to execute. TSM does it very, very well, and this was set up a few stages in advance, and there it is. Flash, root, nothing you can do.
I actually saw Dardoch on player cam when he got hit there say, you know, hey, Maokai just bought me in my jungle. We got to be careful. Yeah. Instantly, TSM can still work on that and get inside the minds of Immortals. Hauntzer now happily back cleaning up a nice wave. Good smash. And control wards abound.
Yeah, Immortals 5 in the inventory right now, so they're really looking to kind of get back on the vision. They realize that it has been lacking. You know, that first gank from Svenskeren, they realized, hey, we didn't see him come in. Then this one wasn't spotted as well, so they are a little bit worried about that, trying to rectify the problem. But it really does feel like TSM is going back to the old style of, like, you know, just Bjergsen versus the world. Everything is kind of being poured into Bjergsen. Each of the games, Svenskeren focuses almost exclusively on the mid lane. And you know, even Hauntzer moving down, blowing his flash to get Bjergsen ahead. So while it is great if it works, it is a little bit concerning to me for TSM, because if you can only play that way, when you play against teams who can match it, your play becomes very choreographed.
Yeah.
It's very telegraphed, you know?
Well, a lot of it for Bjergsen as well, when he started to have troubles, was somebody else needs to communicate. And then Doublelift came in, and he was a big majority of early game communication with Bjergsen, calling strats, making things happen. So again, he kind of has that void as WildTurtle comes in, and maybe not calling as many strats early game.
We'll
So
see
he's
who can
really trying to step up, right?
There's that black shield on the hook. And now it's a contest on the buff. Sven wins another one. Nice binding.
Just a few love taps here. It's like they want it, but they don't. They're stepping back. They're moving in. It didn't seem like it was fully decided there. Shockwave over the wall. Hits him. Dissonance already hit, so it's not going to be enough.
Nope, definitely not. But they do push them back. Sven wins another smite more on that buff. And I think Dardoch would like to. Okay, stops the back. I was gonna say I think he wants to go for this dragon or the red buff, and he does ping assist, over to that red buff. They may be looking to set something up here. We'll see how this works out for him this time. Sven's definitely playing it safe. He's trying to wait. So now he knows. Now he knows that he is there. And will he try to contest again?
That's a sleek red buff. All right. So now he's gonna get toyed with.
Oh! There you go. Dardoch makes him pay.
I think that's all I could have said there. It just seemed like it was so it happened. Very nice. Catches him right in the flash as well. Dardoch's gonna go down on this one. Oh, double buffs over to Biofrost.
Dardoch makes the good play and then gives it right back with a failed flash. And you can see he is very frustrated with himself off that one. Knows he should have had that play. He should have been able to get out clean.
Flashed where he was almost.
It was a panic flash.
Right, no, of course.
It's one of those things, you see the hook, you just press flash, right? And his cursor's in the wrong spot.
Oof.
Oh my god.
Okay. You can see me saying it's all right. We got this. It's all right.
Yep.
Still things are... Whoa. Leaving himself in a 2v1 situation. There's the kick, the resonating strike.
They want to give it to Bjergsen. They're trying to give the blue buff over to Bjergsen.
You were saying something about resources and giving them to Bjergsen earlier?
Yeah.
There's another one, 102.
It's like, don't worry, guys. We'll both just stand here. We'll wait. We'll hold it. And here it is once more. Biofrost sees it, makes the play, and Dardoch flashes in place there. Does go down. This one would have been nice to go to Bjergsen too, but he ends up with a double buff, or a buff of his own rather, blue buff, a little bit later. And there you can see the frustration from Dardoch. He knows he made an oopsie, Riv.
A little bit of an oopsie. Those are the kind of things we got to see if a player can pull themselves out as well when they're kind of their own mistakes. It tacks on you a little bit more. Obviously, your team's behind you saying, it's fine, we can do this. But I feel like Dardoch is also saying the same thing after that. He seemed as he calmed down and said, let's take a breather. We're all right. TSM, however, they feel like they are in a very good spot here. 3-1, Bjergsen is getting so much in the mid lane as he just stacks here, and everything's being put on a silver platter for him.
Yeah, they really have been just helping Bjergsen out so much, and it's working well. He's a little bit up in the CS, but he has the extra gold from the kills, and he's gotten that blue buff for himself. So, in a matchup that you're not supposed to win, he's looking great. And so far, so good for TSM, as the bot lane has been going well for them. They're really winning all across the board right now, which is concerning for Immortals.
Yep. TSM playing much safer as well in this Morgana lane for Olleh to not hit as many bindings, not have to call Svenskeren's pressure down. He's been able to do much more for Bjergsen in middle, and it has paid off. Flame getting a little bit of a roam in here to get some vision down and control those river wards. Dardoch towards the bot side, looking to get a little back once more.
There's Biofrost. Cody Sun, flash ult.
They pulled it. That's going to make the chain of corruption lock them both down. Cody Sun's going to be left now. Has to break a side of the box. Oh, it's going to be Hauntzer getting in on this one too as the Arcane smashes Cody Sun home. 22 seconds on that clock, and Svenskeren's going to be here as well for the turret.
A nice play by TSM. Such a fast TP from Hauntzer. Biofrost and Turtle playing really well. This is going to be the first turret going down for TSM, and they are really going to balloon this gold lead. It is opening up big time.
Much like we used to see before when they would have a lead, that would be pushed very quickly and the turrets will start to fall. Like you said, Hauntzer with a nice teleport down. Flames still ticking away as he had to get back to lane.
Yeah, last year in the NALCS, they were actually the team that expanded their gold lead the most between 5 and 10 minutes, 10 and 15 minutes, everything. They were the best snowball team in probably the world, actually, at least stats-wise.
Yeah,
they were
right.
really incredible at doing that. Pretty much no one better than expanding their lead.
And a Mountain Drake calmly going over to TSM. This is how much control they have over the map. They've been doing it for the last few seconds, but just really freeing things up. That scared me because I thought it was going to lock them both up, but they knew what they were doing. Yeah,
they really didn't. And the thing is, it's a smart backup from Immortals because Turtle, although he got hit by the Varus ult, Dardoch had no way to close the gap and get up on him. So if he tries to walk up there, Turtle can easily step back. They will all go down. So they cut their losses. Hauntzer makes him pay with the TP. Really nice job from him.
Absolutely.
And he's really having a good start this time around. You know, 1-0-3. He had been kind of getting bullied in early games against Flame, but now he's looking great.
Flame getting a little love in the top lane here. During that replay as well, Pobelter's Flash and Ghost were burned by Svenskeren, so he is down without those for another all-in.
And Sven is here, so there's 4 men top. This is going to be another turret going TSM's way. It does not look like Immortals is anywhere close to responding to this. I mean, Cody Sun just getting the bot lane now, and Flame, turret's dead, bud.
He walked up for that one last minion to say, I can get it and get out. I'll be able to pressure it, but now he's going to cost, it's going to cost him his life. That'll go over to Svenskeren, and he picks up a little bit more, and it seems like 3 games in, Immortals is falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, that one, yes, great. Okay, going for the assassination. Whoa.
There you go.
That's a nice morale boost there as they're going to lose 2 turrets in the top lane. Off of, I mean, Flame, there was no way he could defend it, but he should have left. Dardoch, though, really nice play to get something back. And this may allow them to get a turret in the mid lane and at least try to stem the bleeding.
It's kind of that situation for Flame where you kind of convince yourself it'll be all right. Yeah. Nobody else is in the brush to try brush. But usually you're right in thinking that, and he was.
Yeah, looking for the collapse. Oh, flash hook from Biofrost!
Gonna try the shockwave though. They're still fighting back as much as he can. Pobelter goes down valiantly, using every skill before it hits. Hauntzer gets hit up. That's another one for Dardoch. He's been having a rough early game, so he starts to put a little money under his belt now. And Turtle from top lane now coming down to mid with Biofrost. They have been the support lane making plays this game.
Yeah, some nice plays from Immortals there. Still though, in the end, it's a 2-for-1 for Immortals, thanks to some good play from them. And Pobelter, he gets caught, but he gets his damage down, throws out the ultimate, chunks him down. Cody Sun finishes off that first kill, and here it is once more. Biofrost has been making plays. Flash, hook, lands it, but then look at that damage going out on Svenskeren, catches him. Cody Sun gets the finish off, and Maokai is kind of out here on his own, and then Olleh over the wall has been so on point with his bindings. Makes it a 2-for-1 for Immortals.
Kind of a hook shot. So, not much for Flame. Cleaning up the top side. Bjergsen is trying to soak up quite a bit. He heads to top to clean the wave and push it out. They still have quite a few turrets here to be grabbed up by Immortals, so that is a huge chunk of gold that's just laying there once Immortals do get the position to make it happen. But they gotta find some ground first. It's been Svenskeren in their jungle way too much. The wards are still completely over past red, deep inside that. So, IMT has to do a little bit of backing up, clear those wards, and probably go forward after that.
They really do. Thankfully for them, though, you know, Dardoch, he made one mistake, but he's looked great besides that. He has 3 kills to his name, working towards that Black Cleaver. He's going to be very strong. You know, is ahead of Sven right now because he has the additional farm, has the additional kills, and he's going to be a big part of the game for them. They need to try to get some assassinations. Don't let TSM just kind of lead them out on these turrets.
Final outer turret taking damage. Kha'Zix over the wall. Dardoch looking for an engage, but it would be Svenskeren jumping out quick. So nothing comes of that. Infernal Drake will be next, but we got a bit of time.
Didn't end up coming into play there, but Dardoch just hit 11, evolved the wings there, probably for that play. You know, he can jump over the wall, engage from further, and look for one of those assassinations. Because we did see him previously go for the W second. Obviously, he can swap back and forth between games, but just would have been in position for that fight if he needed to. And now he's moving up top side.
Could be. He's got the angle to route him here. There's no flash and a little too much crowd control for a TP. What did TSM get on this? Bot lane's being pushed. They may actually try to take down Pobelter in this instance. I don't think Svenskeren is going to make it in time, though. Good kill onto Hauntzer. Takes him a bit, but they get possession of that lane again.
Yeah, and the kill goes over to Flame. TSM will get mid lane turret here, very likely. Turtle. Okay, gets it. Still, Flame can push in top lane. Could try to get that. Should be able to maybe finish down that turret. It's very, very low on the top side, and Dardoch staying active in this game. Really wants to carry for his team.
Pretty impressive as well. It has been not so easy, and it's very easy to kind of get down on yourself, feel like you can't do an engage because if you do, you're just going to die again or give over more kills to, say, Bjergsen.
Yeah.
And he has not hesitated once. I think that's a very big key factor and the reason Immortals still have options to look at as well. Because Pobelter, while he's doing damage, he hasn't been able to find any shockwaves that initiate anything as well.
No, certainly not just yet, but as he always seems to, he is hanging around, getting that farm in, and we've seen, you know, he can be massive in these late game team fights, and Orianna needs some time to scale up. Usually people talk about the 3 items as Orianna's kind of big point, you know, Void Staff, Morello, plus the Death Cap. If you can kind of hit that 3-item power spike, that is where it gets frightening for the carries, and he has some good delivery systems with Dardoch, with Flame.
That's true.
And if they can hit that, they have a lot of AoE, right? You know, Olleh, like he has the AoE ultimate. They have Cody Sun AoE ultimate. They have a lot of follow-up if they can kind of get that initiation.
A little bit more damage on the side of WildTurtle with the call fields. Again, these games feel like they've been going long, but we're really only on a few core items for each member on the map right now. Just up on 20 minutes. Dragon number 2. And Bjergsen and the team have controlled this side of the map and just a bit of Immortals as well, which makes it nice and easy. Hauntzer goes in on Flame. Flame getting a bit of taste of his initiations from the past 2 games. It looks like they're just going to back off, though, as the tanks, they're just too tanky, man.
Just too tanky. It's such a well-prepared Dragon, though, but oh, initiation. Cody Sun gets caught.
Flame once again, flayed into the box. A good amount of follow-up damage, huge shields, and Flame still wants a pushback. Puts himself in the fight, but is forced to flash out. Dardoch can't find that entry. Hauntzer is blocking off the backline. Great positioning by TSM as they roam back and forth in this one.
Yeah, close fight on both sides there. No one able to get the full commit to get that kill, but Dardoch going in.
Oh, there's that Dardoch mentality. I got a chance, I'm gonna take it. And he almost comes up with the kill. Hauntzer very quick to slow him down. And these teams are out for blood right now. It's gonna be this mid turret or I think a death on one side of the rift.
Yeah, and I mean, TSM is low. I think they have to back off and give this up.
Right.
Thanks in part to that chunk out from Dardoch. So in the long exchange, TSM sets up a great vision control around the Dragon. They get the Infernal, that's a big one. But Immortals is able to battle back and at least take a turret, and that's important for them. They are behind on the turrets, already 2 down on that, and they need to keep close in goal.
Yep. Essence Reaver actually full complete there from Coalfields for Turtle. So he had a little bit of gold sitting in the bank. About 1,000 right now for Cody Sun that he's trying to work with. The 80 carries getting their next level of items. Mid laners 170 to 175. Much cleaner game between those two, even though Pobelter's been finding a bit more action from Svenskeren this game.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. You know, Pobelter last year was actually the most targeted mid lane as far as jungle attention from the enemy team. So that is a stat. You know, most people would think it's actually Bjergsen, but it was Pobelter for a lot of the year that was really targeted so much by those enemy junglers. He's a guy who deserves a lot of attention in that mid lane because he does have the ability to carry. Oh, and they go.
Biofrost getting chilled out real quick. It's going to be an assist there by Olleh. Very nice. And they might have some time to work. It's not a huge drop. The pawn off the map, but they may be able to get some waves into position for another fight. Follow up, rinse and repeat. Immortals has a bit to do before they can really start to initiate some big fights.
And when you said earlier, you might have to start seeing some more defense. Might have been onto something because Olleh just looks so good on it. He's been such a playmaker for the team. You know, nails the binding, black shields the flay.
Yep.
He's just really looking so good on the Morgana. Very, very impressed with him. Especially, you know, for one of the players who has not received a lot of hype coming into the league, is making a name for himself on the Morgana.
And not to take anything away from it, obviously, there's always the factor as well of not playing against the Morgana that much. Obviously, you're going to play against it in solo queue, but you don't respect that range as much, sidestepping as much, and it's like it has hands that reach out and grab you each time.
That's one of the strengths of playing off-meta champions, right? If you play something different, they don't necessarily know how to deal with it. And Immortals starts up Baron, immediately says nope. Backs off, but look at the vision control around the Baron. They have so many wards in the deep blue side of TSM's jungle, as well as double pink ward on their red side jungle. So 3 pink wards over there, a bunch of other wards, and they really have gotten good vision control. But, you know, to set that up and then back out and allow this to be seeded so easily is definitely something that is a little bit of a mistake, I think. because you definitely want to, you work for this hard vision, now you really want to try to keep it and try to defend it.
Right. Being able to ward and just kind of walk out. You only get vision for a second.
But they really have been putting a huge emphasis on pink wards. You can see they always have pink wards. They're always placing them around the map, and I like that. We've seen that, I think, from a lot more teams this year. I know P1, there was one point where they had 10 or 11 pink wards in their inventory. You know, there's 3 on the support, like 2 on everyone else.
They're so cheap, you just keep buying them, keep them on the map. The vision is huge. We saw what Immortals did with it in first game and TSM in 2.
Yeah, and the vision denial from these ones, the fact they shut down the vision from opposing wards, is additional power that they didn't used to kind of have before. So it's something that has definitely been increasing the value. They may be looking for another pick here on Hauntzer if he hangs around, but he will back off.
Seeing what the next big explosion might be, and it seems not like a forced fight, but jockeying for vision and position here would be somebody getting caught out.
Yeah, a lot of catch potential from both the supports. You know, they're both our playmakers. Nice black shield.
Oh, he can still follow up. Sonic Wave is on! He connects it, brings him over the wall, but now Svenskeren's in a 1v1 versus Dardoch. He's flashed back to the team to stay safe. And a great shield by Olleh, a follow-up coming in by the rest of the team, and they're able to really take it to him.
Yeah, nice black shield from Olleh, but Hauntzer, full commitment, flashes in, catches Cody Sun, he goes down, and TSM is still pushing, but there's Flame, knocks one out. Do they go?
Biofrost almost against the turret, gets himself to flash out. 2-man shockwave, not too much follow-up there. It does back off TSM. They see another minion wave cannon with it, and they're going for the turret.
Immortals has to be scared now, though. The shockwave is really the big threat spell, and it just hit the tanks, so they can push forward. They can take down that turret with confidence.
Took a while for TSM to find the ground there. Immortals was also keeping themselves quite scattered. Oh, Flame goes in quite far, and he gets taken down, thinking he can set up some early vision to get the team help.
Biofrost has just been on point this game, getting so many hooks. They take another kill there. And really, he had no business walking into that bush because they still had Scuttlecrab control around the Baron.
Up again.
Whoop.
They're literally just moved from side to mid, and we're like, maybe somebody's going to go blue side now. All right, towards Baron.
Yeah,
starts to get a little more
dragon right now. So do they go? They're going over. They're going to try to start this up. Let's see. Oh, okay. Never mind. Thought they were going to try to do some tricky stuff, but it will just be a TSM dragon. Third one of the game for them, and that is a big change because it has been Immortals 2 games in a row that got the first 3.
Yeah. Very, very big. They were also heavy on the Elder Drakes.
And here it is once again. Olleh blocks that up, but Cody Sun. There's the Q onto him from Svenskeren. Flash commitment there from Hauntzer. And when you flash with releasing Q, it follows you through. So Svenskeren's able to finish off the kill, and TSM eventually does push in and get that turret. Still cool, very close.
Yeah, trying to maybe use Cody Sun as bait there in the top lane. Dardoch backs. And now again, Svenskeren and the rest of the team. Power in numbers go ahead to set up this vision around Baron. It has been Dardoch in game 1 and Svenskeren in game 2, both getting the Barons. Neither have really been able to steal it away from each other too much. Svenskeren had a few steals, definitely putting Dardoch on tilt for a second, but he's back in. He's getting the kills he needs. Got himself to 3-1-2 after a pretty rough early game, so props to Dardoch, but we've been watching the junglers pretty much this entire series because they have been making the impacts to help really out mid and bot.
Every single game, this one included, you know, 4 kills for Svenskeren, 3 for Dardoch. They have been looking great. Really just getting so much work done for their team. The question becomes, you know, how much involvement can Dardoch keep having in these fights as you get further and further? We know how difficult it can be for the Kha'Zix to really participate. Biofrost looking.
Lantern hook, just the walk up. Look at the aggression, though. Biofrost feels comfortable putting out right now with the strength of his team behind him. Immortals, very smart to back off for that instance here. And I think it's going to be the Baron jockeys that gets TSM their next edge and advantage.
Oh, Dardoch, gotta be careful. Ooh. That one, I'm not sure they could have followed up if they hit. I don't think, I mean, I was like, oh, he's gonna hit him, he's gonna hit him, he's gonna hit him. Oh, there's no one there.
Maybe he was just splitting them. He's like, I could hit Dardoch or I could hit.
Ooh, Sven.
Oh, Svenskeren getting hit up.
It's a shot across the broadside. It's a warning arrow.
Come on, come back. We can do this. What are the levels at right now? 14 Dardoch, 13 Svenskeren, so there is a discrepancy in the smite. Shouldn't be too bad, as they both kind of have cues that can make smiting the Baron easier.
Yeah, certainly.
What a good fight here.
Oh, he didn't get the shield, Riv. That's critical because now he won't lose health.
He's up against the ropes. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's got like cat hair in his mouth and everything now. Seems like a rough fight. That's gonna keep going on though. We'll come back to that later. Dardoch cleaning up the jungle. TSM is still just working around this Baron. Immortals doesn't want to give him the pressure. They say, yeah, you guys can dance around there all day. We're not gonna fight the fight. We're not gonna be able to catch somebody out. Who gets this one? The smite goes in favor of Svenskeren.
He's been really on point, you know, taking away buffs as much as he possibly could, winning all those smites. Oh, now the arrow. Good sidestep. Really good sidestep from Dardoch. Oh. A little bit of style points there for Dardoch.
Getting the shimmy shake.
But that's the thing. Look how short that cooldown is on WildTurtle's arrow. When you do go for the Essence Reaver build, you know, you hit that level 11. It's really, really short. So taking those chances is great because if he hits that, that can be a kill or perhaps a summoner, and always worthwhile.
Pobelter sitting on 1,400 gold. A little bit of power in his pocket to be spent here. He's really going for these sideways. Help here from Dardoch to make sure it's safe to do so. And Immortals has kind of said, hey guys, let's take a break until Pobelter can get these items, it seems. They once again back off, and they're going to take the offense here of TSM.
They definitely will. We have Flame pushing right now in the bot lane. Hauntzer are going to be going down to answer that, but Flame can make a rotation up and look to kind of start something, but the game really has slowed down. Oh, it's been about Baron, right? Yeah. TSM and Immortals are both competing for Baron vision right now. TSM has the dominance in the game. They're up in gold, they're up in dragons, and they have double mountain, which means they can rush it. So they want to control, that was close. They want to control the vision around Baron and bait Immortals into a bad fight.
All right, nice redemption. Actually, a nice hit there.
Oh no.
Flame.
Here comes Hauntzer.
Pobelter gets one hit onto Biofrost. He could go down, but he's not a huge factor for the team. He can still stay in the back. They can fight the same. Olleh is going to be the next focus now. Hauntzer, another twisted advance in. It connects on Flame. Does Svenskeren go in? The kick is down, so there's no reason to. They will just follow up with damage for now. And a back and forth. Immortals actually wanted that fight. They stepped in with redemption. They got themselves in trouble after Flame again went too far ahead. Missed the ult.
Yeah, they really wanted to have that fight, but they haven't been able to land the Shockwave, and that's the key spell for them. You know, the Shockwave hits a tank support there, and it means TSM goes straight onto the Baron. Look how fast they kill it with double mountain. I think this is gone, unless Pobelter can seal it.
No, Dardoch just jumped over the wall.
Oh, Bjergsen going over the wall.
Cody burning down from the poison damage. And Bjergsen picks himself up a kill as well as the team getting Baron.
Cassio just destroys the Baron with double mountain. Goes down so fast, and Immortals not there to contest. Not even there for a chance at a steal, unfortunately for them. And TSM, they had set that up so far in advance. A really good job from them. They were able to secure the Baron. They have vision around it. Yeah, Immortals can see it, but then in goes Bjergsen. He knows Pobelter has no shockwave, so he can't fight back. And look at the poison damage. Just takes out Cody Sun.
Far arrow for Flame. Looks like they're going to catch up on this one.
Here comes Immortals, though. There's actually a couple guys coming. He does have a GA, so they can look to re-engage.
Bjergsen's top. They can see him on the minions if they really want to take this fight. The AP damage is not there. Teleport is up, but Flame is already in the fight. He's not going to have enough time to back and come into the fight. And no Cody Sun means everybody backs away. Bjergsen gets a long time to free farm in the top side.
I might have thought they would go for that with Pobelter having a shockwave back, Bjergsen on the top side, you know, being that super strong member for TSM, but they're not willing to commit to that fight, not feeling confident about it. And it means TSM going to claim another turret, extend this gold lead, getting even stronger.
Interesting pick ban once again. The Morgana coming in for Immortals here. Thought it would be a pretty big hitch for Biofrost on that Thresh. It seems like he doesn't throw the hooks at Olleh. And Olleh has been a lot farther from the members of his team than he was last game, because Immortals is kind of in recuperation mode. He's helping everybody out instead of being with the guy that is aggressing to give him that shield that looked so good last game. Things have been a bit scattered for them now.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because TSM has done such a good job of controlling vision, right? You don't know where Biofrost is. You can't be there to necessarily black shield that hook. I think he's been pretty on point with it, but Immortals has been getting caught out here and there, and now their siege is very strong. They have this turret quite low.
Great miasmas consistently from Bjergsen to keep anybody from flying through. And just a few more shots here, Turtle's going to get into range and finish off the turret. Looks like Biofrost is going to be the one to do it. Almost letting the minions do the job for him. Inhibitor turrets in their eyes. Isaac, let's see if they can take this one down.
Yeah, and it's looking like this inhibitor may go down. Cody Sun has to run back to get some mana to get ready for a fight on the second one. First inhibitor, definitely a big deal for TSM, but that is okay. You can give that up. It's the second, it's the third that you really need to kind of choose your moment and look for a fight, and I think that Immortals will contest this next one much more heavily.
Just Hauntzer down to the bot lane. Looks like, yeah, they're going to split this one. Hauntzer says, I got this. Use the Baron minions middle. And once again, Turtle has easy position to take this one down. So Immortals forced to watch here. And now they're going to move down towards the bot side. Around the horn here for TSM as they start to really crack down on Immortals base. They've had great control over this Game 3 after a very back and forth Game 1 and Game 2.
This is the best game we've seen from TSM so far. Yeah. You know, Bjergsen having a great start with the help of Svenskeren, with the help of that roam from Hauntzer, and Hauntzer finally getting the Maokai. And he has been instrumental as well. You know, involved in 7 of the 10 kills. You know, key picks from him too, so.
Yep, he's just a big scratching post. They can't get through him. Take him out. 34 minutes in, much more speedy in that sense as well. As I said, Game 1 and 2, 50+ minutes, and now a 34-minute game with the inhibitors falling very fast.
We do have to remember, though, this is a situation that TSM was in before, you know?
Game 1,
where,
yeah,
exactly.
30-minute inhibitor down.
They had to hold on for so long, and they were able to do it. And Immortals does have really powerful team fighting, really powerful scaling, and they have that high impact shockwave. That can always be a turning point in a team fight, especially now. Pobelter has hit his 3 items.
There it is, yep.
He's very strong, and they have the delivery systems, but they have to nail that combo. And I think without a great shockwave, you will not be winning fights this far down in gold.
Svenskeren taunting the abilities out, knowing Immortals is just on the edge of the fog of war. Turtle up front. The Turtle shell is on. Bjergsen's there with him, however, as well, as Hauntzer goes for mid lane here against Flame. Looks like he's just going to try to get some solo hits on the inhibitor when he can, but he's also calling over Dardoch. The little scatter here they're causing for Immortals could mean that catch. Maybe a hook, maybe a Hauntzer hit from a twisted advance here. We'll see how Immortals handles it.
And Immortals has really good wave clear, so it's very tough for TSM to get a lot of damage on these turrets unless they want to go mid. Oh, okay, that's not, it's okay.
Just tell him it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But how heavily does Immortals commit to defending this? Because it looks like they're just going to give it up. They waited too long.
Who's he want? He's like, I don't want to hit Biofrost, so I kill that guy. So he changes his mind, nicely hitting out Hauntzer. They're going to figure out what to do next in this one. A turret will be going down according to the minions from Team Solomid. And now they will try to do what they can to clean up on the side of Immortals. TSM's probably going to stay for a little bit longer, at least deny anything in the jungle, as you see Svenskeren in the jungle. And Hauntzer heading back down.
Yeah, Hauntzer going to push in the wave. And, I mean, sure, Biofrost died, great, but you lost an inhibitor, you lost a Nexus turret. So TSM really playing it well, and Immortals not able to find that big fight. You know, they commit the shockwave, it's for the support. That means they can't really go for a bigger fight after that. They just need to keep holding on.
Clean up in mid-wave by Pobelter, or mid-lane by Pobelter. His sums are up. That shockwave could come from a flash engage. Then Olleh comes up. We haven't seen the Soul Shackle really deny anything either, as it kind of should scare you for initiating into the team fight.
Definitely. And I think right now for TSM, the objective is pretty clear. You push in your side waves, you group towards the bot and you go for that last inhibitor. You can have Hauntzer over by the mid lane. He's shoving in minions there.
Yep.
The rest of the squad down as 4, looking to collapse on that. And for Immortals, you can't allow yourself to just bleed out like this. You need to pick your moment, because otherwise the super minions will run you over. When you go to answer those other waves, TSM will push in on the turret, so they will have to choose their moment and look for an engage. And whether that's from Flame TPing in behind, or whether that's just from some sort of flash engage from Olleh, they need to choose a time and go for it, or it'll be gone.
If those minions do get in there, they don't have a team that can really clear waves all that well. So super minions are just going to plow right through.
And look at this. I mean, Immortals now kind of being flanked from all sides. They got to choose when they're going to go. Here comes Pobelter back with mana.
Hauntzer pushed out. WildTurtle 3 shots onto the turret is only stopped by the Tormented Soil taking away his minions. He'll be back in just a few seconds with that minion wave. And first in line to take it down. Hauntzer Svenskeren swiping from the side here. That last turret. Cody's trying to do work in the back, keep the super minions off, but also help his team. The Chain of Corruption has already been fired out. And the inhibitor is not the focus, it's the members. Nice flash by Pobelter, keeps himself alive, looking for the perfect shockwave, but none of the members of TSM are grouping together. He can't do anything. Cody in the back, he's fine. Spell immune on, no! Hauntzer finds him as soon as that wall falls off. Pobelter's gonna go down now. They waited so patiently, they scattered so well, and TSM comes out on top of the series, winning game 3. TSM takes down Immortals.
TSM's best game is the last, and that's what counts. They look good in the 3rd game here, and they are going to take it, Riv, and the sky's not falling yet for TSM.
Oh, somebody put it back up. We got some supports in there.
Both these teams going to end their week 1-1, though. TSM only lost 1 series all last year, so they're going to have to go a long way if they want to match that record.
Nevermore, said the Raven. Can't lose. Composition once again, taking back that Lee Sin, finally getting the Maokai on their side, and Bjergsen back to the Cassiopeia. And throughout these games, we saw good play from the bot lane, but the junglers were focusing the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. Svenskeren all the time, going to the mid lane, getting Bjergsen ahead, and it really did pay off. Bjergsen was so strong on this Cassiopeia, and Hauntzer had his best game yet on the Maokai. He looked really good on it in this game, and he was the one dictating the pace to Flame, pushing him around, getting catches, and really the whole team did contribute here. Biofrost getting some really nice hooks, the flash hooks coming in at multiple times, netting them kills, and it just felt like TSM deserves so much credit for playing around the shockwave. It was never anyone getting caught with it, right? It's always just Biofrost getting shockwaved, or just Hauntzer.
2-man was the biggest we saw.
Exactly, and it was on tank support. So not a big deal whatsoever. Pobelter just couldn't get that prime shockwave that he needed because TSM played so well around it. They positioned themselves, they tracked it, they communicated, and they did what they needed to do to win the series.
Right. Well, Immortals playing strong. The 3rd game seemed to get to them. We saw a few mistakes here and there. The Baron steals started to go to Svenskeren, so props to him and the pressure that it came down to, because the first few games we saw Immortals as well. 3 dragons, 3 dragons. TSM wasn't really able to control too much of the map. Finding their win condition, though, in the games really allowed them to kind of build confidence. Once they figured out that they could get through, especially the first game, you saw the confidence in their plays, continuing to engage and continuing to make things happen. Especially Bjergsen, when I was on the cast that game, his ridiculous KDA, and that over this is something like 13, 2, and 17 or something like that for his Cassiopeia. So awesome play to Bjerg as well in the mid.
Yeah, he was smashing, and I think this game was definitely a nice one to see from WildTurtle, because I think that they didn't have the best bot lane matchup. They played well. He contributed a lot, had some great arrows. No deaths.
And it was a question too, right?
And he's been catching a lot of flack. So winning this series, coming up big in the last game for him. And Biofrost is really nice to see.
That was the next one I was going to go to. Just in fact that these guys can work together now, and we saw that lane synergy after having a bit of trouble versus Cody Sun and Olleh, which, not to take anything away from them, they played very well. Played very, very well. 16-17 or 16-13 is where they ended this one, and WildTurtle and Biofrost were already ahead of them. It's just TSM had game number 3 in the bag. Seemed like they knew what they were doing when they came into this one. Now we're going to catch up with Freak, who is on stage